Happy Halloween to my audience of so glad that my friends are back now that I stopped taking my schizophrenia pills. Remember that mediocre zombie game I talked about? Well, I got some unfinished business regarding it. Check it on, still unfinished business. I'm sure glad I got this video out in October in a timely fashion. Do not look at the upload date. One thing I didn't get into because I just didn't have the chance to try it out was the multiplayer for Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green. I heard good things about it, and now that I've finally gotten to try it out, it's so ass. I love it. You know what's wild? The multiplayer is just as functional as it was in 2005, with the server browser still working and all. Land of the Dead Road to Fiddler's Green, of all games, still has functioning online that you can access straight from a clean install, as if it were 2005. How the fuck did this happen? The problem is that the only servers still up are the Horde survival mode, called Invasion. And it's just boring. The real fun which I had to get set up myself is deathmatch. Important thing to note. This is the vanilla experience. No mods or custom models. You may have questions how they made a deathmatch mode out of a zombie shooter. Well, here's how it works. You're being swarmed by zombies while deathmatching. It's honestly really cool of an idea. As a kid, I used to play Doom Deathmatch with bots by turning on monsters with the difficulty set to Nightmare, thanks to Skulldag. And this reminded me of that chaotic experience. Just one issue. It's Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green. A game with dog shit game feel, where the guns are unreliable bee shooters. A game that feels like absolute molasses. The multiplayer is no different here. It's absolutely busted with no proper balance or anything. You can tell how much time went into this because there's only two choices for the player model. The Otis and the protagonist Farmer, whose name is Jack by the way. Not that it ever gets mentioned. I wonder if Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag are Team Jack and Team Otis going up against one another. Overall thoughts? So bad it's good. Way more entertaining than the single player. Not that that's a high bar to begin with, but also some possible cool ideas. I think the praise for the multiplayer comes from the modding scene this used to have. Oh, what about Day of the Zombie, you may ask? Well, as I'd expected, it still kinda sucks, but it still feels better to play than Fiddler's Green. But here is what this video is truly about. The mod that might make it a good game. Dead Epidemic. This total conversion of Road to Fiddler's Green was made by Resurrection Studios, a collective of Postal 2 modders. Actually, the collective of Postal 2 modders at the time. As every single large-scale project from the 2000s was from them. A Very Postal Christmas, Eternal Damnation, and the very essential before the Steam release, A Week in Paradise. This is their only project that wasn't a Postal 2 mod, while still being familiar territory, considering that they're both Unreal Engine 2 titles, the crack house child of the Unreal family. Look, while the later versions of Unreal have plenty of stanky games, there's a fuck trillion games that use it on account of how it became the go-to engine for game development. But Unreal 2 has less than 100 total releases, so the stank stands out more. As well, so much of it is its own special breed of stank. Also, its flagship was Unreal 2: The Awakening. Open Season, the video game used Unreal 2. That is the game the kid in the crack house is playing when he isn't watching the Spaceship's Gamrep DVD-R. Postal 2 used Unreal 2. Anyway, let's see what Dead Epidemic has to offer. I'm a zombie!
The commander would like to see you in his office.
Just give me a minute. I can tell this is going to be an interesting day.
Wow, nice voice acting. Can't be too hard on it since amateur production and all. Though, I will say that I remember Eternal Damnation having better quality mics than this. This still has higher production values than Road to Fiddler Screen. The story here is that you play as John, last name I'm not sure. It's the zombie apocalypse. The soldier dude sent on a mission to capture Dr. Necro, the scientist responsible for all these zombies. Sorry, the withered. John gets on a helicopter with his squad. It gets shut down. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I just don't find zombie stuff narratively interesting. And this is as generic as the zombie game Bloodline you can get. So visually, it's not much different from Fiddler Screen. Same grey lifeless look, same problems with the mouse sensitivity. Movement still feels like complete molasses. They also have a few jumping puzzles straight out of Half-Life, which sure is fun with this pitiful jump you have. Also when you try to jump while running, the way John says damn, it's just the funniest shit. Gunplay here actually feels nice. Every shot has good impact. I'm not sure if it's different in terms of game mechanics, but on a presentation standpoint, it is a major improvement. Double points for having dual-wielding revolvers. Also no melee weapons. You only have the shove you can do. Which brings me to my next point. It does something both Land of the Dead and Day of the Zombie failed at. There is an actual sense of tension. Every shot matters with how sparse the ammo is early on. Keyword being early on. It might actually go too far with that if I'm being real. There's one problem that ruined my experience with Dead Epidemic. The endless crashes. It keeps crashing every 5 minutes. I can only guess what was causing it. I turned on VSync in the ini file and that only lessened the crashing. The readme says something about frequent resolution switching causing the crashes. That's all I can really say. My guess is that maybe my recording software was causing it. But from when I tested this game out before I started recording, I think it still had issues with crashing.
Oh yeah!
So John Epidemic arrives in the police station where his comrades are being kept. And human enemies. And human enemies? Yeah, you get to face off gun-wielding dudes.
Shit, that hurt.
Yeah, they're not very smart as you expect in a game where the zombies are especially dumb. This is where the game starts being very generous with ammo. At which point all tension from the first half is lost. But it's still more engaging of an experience than Land of the Dead. I don't know what else there is to talk about. The music? Well, it's half generic horror music. and the other half is like instrumental morbid angel. Someone must have been a fan of death metal on the team, because one of these zombies has a death hoodie, and in the obligatory mall level, you can find a record store. You got posters for the Sex Pistols and Metallica, normie stuff. Then there is a few death albums, I presume. I recognize only one of them, Spawn of Possession's Cabinet. I tried looking this one up, Body Gore Decrepit Birth, but couldn't find it. I have no clue about this one.
Are there more soldiers coming? Answer me. It's useless. She'll never talk.
That's right, asshole.
Let me kill the bitch right now. I haven't killed anything in days. My trigger...
Oh yeah, squad mates appear, but the game avoids having them fight alongside you on account of the AI not being the brightest. They just exist to die, like it just happens off screen. No proper build up to get you to care at all.
No!
So once I see their corpses, all I'm left with is a feeling of, oh, okay.
Oh, no! No!
Overall, Dead Epidemic is decent. Jank and kinda busted as to be expected. It drops off in quality towards the end, but still, at its worst, it is better than Land of the Dead Road to Fiddler's Green. Like, I can't understate how much better of a game it is compared to its base, and also Day of the Zombie.
Victories are fleeting, however, and no one shall survive the Day of the Zombie.